The guide to everything in Minecraft 1.20. This video will explain how to find all the new blocks, items, and mobs in the Minecraft 1.20 update, trails, and tales. There are a lot of additions, so this video will try to summarize the 1.20 update so you can easily step into it and play right away. If you want to know more, I have a ton of tutorials and guides that go into more detail. Let us start with the new biome added, the Cherry Grove. This is a biome that is found in the mountains in the lower layers or where the meadows would generate. In this biome will be the cherry trees that will be composed of cherry logs as the trunk, and the canopies of the trees will be cherry leaves. The cherry leaves will have a unique particle effect that gives off pink particles. The cherry logs can be crafted into all the different wooden items in the game and will have a new unique pink color of wood. In the Cherry Grove there will also be pink petals on the ground that are similar to candles, as there can be 1 to 4 on a block. Bone meal can be used on the grass in this biome or on the pink petals to generate more pink petals. Next is the bamboo blocks. 9 bamboo can be crafted in the crafting table to get blocks of bamboo. This is another wood that will have a unique texture and green color. The blocks of bamboo can be stripped with an axe, crafted into bamboo planks, or crafted further into any wooden item with a bamboo texture. Bamboo slabs can also be crafted into bamboo mosaic block that can further be crafted into bamboo mosaic stairs and slabs. 2 blocks that have been added are the suspicious gravel and the suspicious sand. They both work the same way. There will be a slight difference in appearance to the normal blocks. They are both very fragile, breaking from being mined with the silk touch tool, or the block underneath is removed. Suspicious blocks will have to be excavated with the new brush tool that will have an item emerge from it and turn it into a normal block. The crafting recipe for the brush is a stick, a copper ingot, and a feather. The brush is only used on excavating suspicious blocks. It can be used on other blocks but won't do anything. It has a low durability of 64. Enchantments like Unbreaking and Mending can be placed on it to increase the durability. Curse of Vanishing can also be placed on it to torture you. Suspicious blocks will have different loot tables depending on the location they are found. The suspicious sand can be found in the desert well under the water source blocks, in the desert pyramid, in a buried room that is in the main chamber, and in the warm ocean ruins at the base of the huts. The suspicious gravel can be found in the cold ocean ruins at the base of the huts and throughout the trail ruins. The trail ruins is a new structure that will be buried and will have to have the blocks removed or excavated. The biome the trail ruins can be found in is the jungle, the old growth birch forest, old growth pine taiga, old growth spruce taiga, snowy taiga, and taiga. To simplify that, jungle, old growth, and taiga biomes, and will usually be found next to rivers, aquifers, or oceans. The tip of the tower should be easy to identify as it will be terracotta blocks with other blocks. If you dig down in the tower, you will hit a pathway that connects the trail ruins. This will be stone bricks, and cobblestone. Off of this pathway will be buildings that will be made up of terracotta, glazed terracotta, and mud bricks. The inside of the trail ruins will be filled with dirt, coarse dirt, gravel, and suspicious gravel. In the Java edition, there will be a rare and common suspicious gravel block in the trail ruins. These don't look different, but one will have a common loot table and the other will have a rarer one. They are mixed together throughout the trail ruins. The Bedrock edition only has 1 suspicious gravel in the trail ruins. One of the new items is the Pottery sherds. There are a total of 20 different Pottery sherds in the game. How you get them is by excavating suspicious blocks in the game. The Pottery sherds can be crafted with bricks in the crafting table to get decorative pots. The Pottery sherds can be moved around in different spots to create different textures on the decorative pot. The decorative pot isn't a full block depth or width wise, but is a block tall. The piece on the top does not have a collision box. This means that blocks or other decorative pots can be placed on top of the decorative pots. Decorative pots can have flower pots placed in the top and a flower inside of that. The decorative pot can be mined with an unenchanted pickaxe to drop the individual pottery sherds and bricks. Otherwise, using a hand or silk touch will drop the decorated pot itself. Another new item is the smithing templates. There are a total of 17 different smithing templates. 16 of these are armor trim smithing templates. They can be found through loot chests, through killing elder guardians, or by excavating suspicious gravel in the trail ruins. When you get an armor trim smithing template, this can be used in the smithing table where the interface has been changed. attached. The first slot is the smithing template, the second is for the armor, tools, or weapons, and the third slot is for the ingot or crystal. The armor trim is a decorative design on the armor that will have no effect on it. There are 10 different colors that can be used on the armor depending on the ingot or crystal used. Any type of armor can have the armor trim placed on it. The armor stand in the smithing table will show the end result. When you have completed the process, it will consume the smithing template. The other smithing template is the Netherite Upgrade smithing template. This is found in the Bastion Remnant. Throughout it in chests, there is a 100% chance for it to be in the chest in the treasure room. The Netherite Upgrade is now how items will be upgraded from diamond to netherite. This is the same as the armor trim. As before, upgrading netherite will keep the enchantments, the prior work penalty, and the durability points lost. Smithing templates can be duplicated in the crafting table. The crafting recipe is 7 diamonds, a smithing template, and a block that is related to where the smithing template is found. As you can see, upgrading all your gear to netherite is going to cost more diamonds now. A new redstone component added in the game is the Calibrated Sculk sensor. The crafting recipe is 3 Amethyst shards and a Sculk sensor. At this point, it can only be crafted and isn't found in any location in the game. The Calibrated Sculk sensor functions similar to the Sculk sensor, but there are some differences. The big difference is there will be one side with a white trail that will be the input. When a redstone signal is put against this side, the Calibrated Sculk sensor can only detect vibrations of this redstone signal, meaning the Calibrated Sculk sensor will only output a redstone signal when it gets that vibration. The Calibrated Sculk sensor also has a 16 block range that is more than the 8 of the Sculk sensor, and has a 1 second cooldown before it can detect a vibration. A new container in the game is the Chiseled Bookshelf. The crafting recipe for the Chiseled Bookshelf is 3 wooden slabs and 6 wooden planks. This can store up to 6 books, written books, books and quills, and enchanted books. The front of the Chiseled Bookshelf's appearance will look different depending on the amount of books in it. The Chiseled Bookshelf cannot be opened. You can only remove books by clicking on the front face, or also placing books in it by clicking on the front face. Another new item is the hanging sign. The crafting recipe is 2 chains and 6 stripped of the same type of wood. The hanging sign can be placed against any block or underneath any block. Another difference is that the text on the hanging sign is larger than the normal sign, and there will be less text you can place on it. A new music disc called the Relic music disc has been added. The only location to find this is by excavating the suspicious gravel with the brush in the trail ruins. At this moment, this is only in the Java edition. Now let's explain one of the new mobs, the Camel. The Camel is found in the town center of the desert village. The Camel will not have to be tamed. You will need to place a saddle on it to ride it. The difference between the Camel and other mobs that can be ridden is that the Camel will dash instead of jumping. This will launch the Camel forward 12 blocks and 1 block high. It works the same as jumping, as you hold the spacebar and release when the meter is at the highest. There will be a 2.75 second cooldown before you can do it again. The other unique ability of the Camel is that because it is taller than other mobs, hostile mobs cannot attack the player when riding the Camel. The Camel can also step up on 1.5 block high walls. This allows camels to step on walls or fences. To breed camels, you will need to use cactus that will enter them into love mode and breed a baby camel. There will be a 5-minute cooldown before they can breed again. It'll take 20 minutes for the baby camel to grow to an adult. This can be reduced by 10% by feeding it cactus. The other new mob is the Sniffer. Sniffers are hatched from sniffer eggs. These can be found in the Warm Ocean ruins by excavating the suspicious sand. The sniffer eggs should be placed on the moss blocks, otherwise it will take twice as long for them to hatch. They will crack twice and it will take 10 minutes for them to hatch a snifflet. The snifflet will take 20 minutes to become an adult. This can be reduced by 10% by feeding them torchflower seeds. The sniffers, when on grass or dirt blocks, will dig up ancient seeds like torchflower seeds and pitcher pods. In Java Edition, torchflower seeds function the same as seeds in taming parrots and breeding chickens. In Bedrock Edition, pitcher pods contain parrots and breed chickens. Torchflower seeds can also be fed to sniffers to get them to enter love mode and breed with another sniffer to drop a sniffer egg. The torchflower seeds and pitcher pods can be planted on farmland, and both have 3 stages. The torchflower seeds will become a torchflower, and the pitcher pods will become a pitcher plant that is a 2-block tall flower. Both can be crafted into dye. The torchflower crafts into 1 orange dye, and the pitcher plant crafts into 2 cyan dye. There are 8 new advancements added to the game. Smells Interesting, which is obtaining a sniffer egg. Little Sniffs, that is feeding a snifflet or baby sniffer. Planting the Past, which is to plant either a torchflower seed or pitcher pod. Crafting a new look, that is placing armor trim on armor in the smithing table. Smithing with Style, these are applying a spire, snout, rib, ward, silence, vex, tide, or wayfinder armor trim to your armor. Respecting the Remnants is brush a suspicious block and get a pottery shard. Careful Restoration, that is making a decorative pot out of 4 pottery sherds. Last is Power of the Books, that is placing a redstone comparator to measure the signal of a chiseled bookshelf. All of that is the additions. Let's go through the changes. These are usually the ones that people miss. Now beds, carpets, and wool can be dyed any other color even if they've already been dyed. Blocks of Amethyst can now transmit signals from a Sculk sensor to another Sculk sensor when it is placed next to it. It has to be within range of the other Sculk sensor for this to work. It will also keep the same vibration that the original Sculk sensor detects. A replaceable block between a bookshelf and an enchanting table no longer invalidates the bonuses. This means blocks like grass or ferns. Now mob heads placed on note blocks will play ambient sounds of the mob when powered by redstone. Also, mob heads don't have to be placed on note blocks by sneaking. The vibration frequencies have been simplified to prevent interference. Here's a quick list of the new ones. Honestly, looking through these changes, they are a lot more simplified and easier to understand than before the 1.20 update. Sculk sensors now last 30 game ticks instead of 40 game ticks, and when in the cooldown phase, 10 game ticks instead of 1. The Sculk Shrieker will no longer be heard when waterlogged. Signs can now be edited by interacting with them after being placed. Now you don't have to destroy and replace the sign. Both sides of the sign can have separate text on them. Signs can also now be waxed with honeycomb to prevent any edits to the sign. The Elder Guardians now have a 20% chance to drop a tied armor trim smithing template. In Bedrock Edition, now banners can be placed on shields. There are a lot more changes, but those are the ones that I find notable. There are also over 200 new fixes that have been made to the game. So that covers everything in the Trails and Tales update. Hope you enjoyed it.